Another episode of Eat, Smoke, Fucking Drink. So today, I'm actually getting a little bit prepped up. Oh, shit. I'm getting a little bit prepped up. I'm actually about to head to the city for a whiskey tasting, literally in half an hour or so. I'm catching an Uber, going to the city for a whiskey tasting. It's not my own club. Actually, I'm doing some scoping of another whiskey club in the city. It's more of a subscription basis. So our whiskey club is a non-profit. Okay, it's a non-profit. It's for the good of the community. It's for the good of the planet. Much like UN, UNRWA, Greenpeace, and I don't know, Saudi Arabia or some shit. But anyway, so I'm actually heading to the city for a whiskey tasting. But I thought, you know what? I'll fucking do a little review before I go. And I promised you that it's going to be a Springbank series in the next few reviews. So this is the start of the Springbank series. I'm going to have several Springbanks to review. Quite a few interesting Springbanks, okay? So anyway, as you've got here a little sample, let's go through this bottle. This is the first time I have had this. There's some Chinese writing on the side there. Okay, so I believe this was released in Taiwan, not China, Taiwan, okay? Not China. China's a different country. Taiwan, the country, not China. Just triggered a fuckload of people then. Love it. 1.5 billion to be exact. So let's see. All right, this is the first edition author series, 1993, 24-year-old Springbank. What does it say? This is from a refill hogshead. Okay, refill hogshead. So, who is this author? Who's actually this author? I can't read it. Thomas Hardy. Okay, Thomas Hardy. I don't read books. I don't read books because my attention span is too fucking short. I don't read books, but Thomas Hardy sounds familiar. Sounds like he's an author or something. So I presume he is, so whatever. Anyway, look, you can look up the bottle. You can look at it. You know what? Fuck it, I'll have the whole lot, eh? There we go. Little bottles from the apothecary. It's like Shakespearean times. Shit, here we go. All right. Let's get nosing. Let's look at the color. Look at that. It looks like a golden piss brown. Golden piss brown. That's a new color. It's like Dulux. I'll have the code 6656969. Golden piss brown color, please. You go to the paint shop, and that's what you get. Anyway, so let's have a look. So it's quite a light color. It's from a refill hogshead. I will presume that it is a bourbon hogshead, okay? But once again, I don't give a shit. It'll be interesting because I think Springbanks do best when it is some sherry in it. But let's see how it goes. I haven't had this for a long time. Ooh, wow. Nail polish remover, fresh magazine print is very zesty. Lime. Key lime pie, burnt sugar, sickly coconut, vanilla, thick vanilla, definitely a bourbon hoggy, talcum powder, wet soil, very clean and clinical smelling actually, very clean and clinical. It doesn't have that funkiness, it doesn't have that mossiness, it doesn't have that dank cellar Springbank flavor. Now, I would hazard a guess why that is. Maybe they bought the barrel and they put it in their own warehouse. Maybe the warehouse racking is very clean and hermetically sealed from the outside. Maybe it's not in the dunnage warehouses of Springbank. But who knows? We don't really know how the movements of these bottles are, which is a real shame. I'd love to know. Was it stored in Springbank and they go, you know what, I'll take that 24-year-old? Or was it brought when it was very young and then kept in a warehouse for ages and then, put out there to pasture? Now, who actually bottled this? Edition Spirits. Look, I don't even know who the fuck that is, man. I don't even know who that is. I don't know if they do any other bottlings, but anyway. If I'm speaking really fast, It's because I had Turkish coffee just before and I'm all fucking hyped. Let me just breathe. Let me just breathe. Let me just breathe. Okay, calm the fuck down, anyway. Calm the fuck down. All right. Man, I started running again, and I started the gym again. And I just did a light workout today, but man, I am sore as a son bitch. I'm already sore, and it's not even day one. Unripe apricots. There's a soapiness to it I can't put my finger on. Orange peel, orange marmalade. Cloves, aniseed. Definitely aniseed. There's a herbalness to it. Licorice. Oh, look, the nose is very, very complex. It's a bouquet of all sorts of shit. So the nose, you can't fault it. The nose is quite delicious, actually. Very delicious. Ooh. It smells like the faint hint of marijuana. I'm not kidding, by the way. You know when you're in a concert and then people are lining up around you and you get that faint hint, like a herbal sage kind of smell? It smells like that. Marijuana. Let's sip the shit out of it, eh? Whew. That's a ballsy motherfucker. 53.3%. That is ballsy. Let me just settle my palate. Another sip. Wow. Lemon rind, lemon pith, lemon juice. Some sourness to it, and I attribute that to the lemon. Simple white sugar syrup. Definitely aniseed, definitely clove. Very clinical. Very clinical tasting. Very clean. Oh, I've got some comments about this. I'm going to just sip it a bit more. I'm going to describe to you what I'm tasting, and then I'll do a little bit of a commentary. Raspberry cordial. You know, as a child here in New Zealand, there's a product called Raro. Basically, it's an artificial powdered drink. In America, you call it Tang, okay? Tang. But it's a raspberry flavor, and you put the powder in water and you mix it up, and you've got this abomination of a juice. It's a little bit like that, like a raspberry juice from a powder. Sort of bitterness to it. It's very citrusy. It's actually very narrow, very one-dimensional. The finish is quite short. It's not very oily. Doesn't have a huge, hefty palate that a normal Springbank does. So now time for my commentary. There's not much to this whiskey. I'm sipping it. There's not much to it. I'm hoping that as I sip it, it develops, but it's quite two-dimensional. I mean, I'm going to give it an X right now. X, cross, no. It's a no-go for me, especially for the fucking price. I mean, this cost me my left nut, Ernie, for a night with a Saudi prince. This was quite expensive. It's quite a hefty price. And I'll be honest with you, it's pretty shit. It's pretty shit. But look, let me clarify when I say shit. Because there is truly shit, and there is shit, first world problem shit. This is a first world problem shit right here. Because you're buying this thinking it's going to be Springbank. It's not. It doesn't taste like a Springbank. There's no hallmarks of a Springbank. There's no dunnage, foosty, gimp in the basement sweating in 35 degrees Celsius for 5 days and you bring them out sweat. You know, there's none of that shit. There's no kind of your feet in a gumboot for a whole day working in the garden, you take it out. Oh, that's funky kind of shit. There's none of that. There's none of that Springbank goodness. There's no funk, there's no foosty, there's no fungal, there's no ladies VO in a hot summer day. None of that. This here is clinical. It reminds me of the Rumcaster release, which was a total shit show. This is a refill hoggy. So I don't think the refill hoggy had much to offer, but this proves my point, in my opinion, that Springbank should have an element of sherry. And by having a refill hoggy, which I presume is all bourbon, it's shite. First world shite. It's boring, it's clinical, there's no interest factor, it's two-dimensional, the finish is short, it doesn't build on itself. I'm just bitching now. I'm just bitching. For the price I paid for this, it's not worth it. The bottle is all good, it looks all nice, you know, but I even would say this, is it actually Springbank or is it Hazelburn? Because I know that in the past there has been bottlings, they say Springbank, but it's actually Hazelburn process, which is triple distilled. I don't know. I wish I could contact the company, but they won't tell me shit, because these companies, unless you know them personally, they're a bunch of fucks. I mean, like, I know there are some independent bottlers out there that we know quite well, and we can go and ask them direct, hey, what is this? What is this? And then they're pretty transparent in a secretive way, you know, like, shh, don't tell anyone, but shh, okay, you know, or they'll give you a hint that you can't deny. But this here, I'm guessing it could be a Hazelburn. It's too clinical. There's no heft. There's no weightiness. What happened to this? What happened to this? This is like that beautiful girl, you know, she's gorgeous. You think she's going to be a model. She's the fucking captain of the cheerleading team. And hell, she's the captain of the fucking, what's that shit? They throw people, a cheerleading team. And then, you know, they become homecoming queen for the Americans out there in New Zealand. We don't have shit like that. But, you know, she's all full of promise, you know. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's got so much potential. And then she tries meth. And then it's all downhill from there. And about 10 years later, she's on fentanyl and she's on the side of the road. She looks like the fucking Frankenstein monster. And she's just like, fucking, what the hell's going on? This is that. Okay, that's a little bit heavy-handed, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, this is just failed potential, wasted potential for the sake of what? I don't know. It's almost like they couldn't afford to buy a sherry cask, so they just decided to go for a refill hoggy. It's like, why don't you buy two? Make it a dual cask. You know, make it 50-50, sherry and bourbon, to capture the spectrum of flavors. But no, this is failed potential. This is failed potential. You know, this is that promising girl in high school, and then she tries meth and she becomes a whore. This is that. But look, like I said, it's not the worst whiskey I've ever had. But would I buy it again? Hell no. In fact, I would even go as far as saying, I don't care for it. I don't care for it. What a disappointment. Well, until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. Cheers.